Hi everybody, it's Joy from peaceharmonyandjoy.co.uk. Lorraine and I were going to do a live video today, but for some reason we can't do it on Facebook in landscape mode. So we've decided instead that we'll just do this video and then we'll share that onto my Facebook page. So today we're not coming from sunny Scotland, we're actually coming from the Caribbean seas, which is a beautiful space to be. And while we were here, we had a couple of conversations this week which made us think that there might be other people with Lorraine's situation, that she's done her training but she's not actually got to the stage of collecting her certificate. And we thought it would be lovely to have a conversation about the reasons why this might be happening to people and what they may be able to do to move things forward. So I'd like to introduce you to a very good friend of mine, Lorraine Fiander.
Hello, Joy. So, I have known Joy for a very long time, and Joy was my Reiki teacher for Reiki 1, and then I moved on to Reiki 2. And I did everything in Reiki 2 and then sort of stalled. I was very happy with my Reiki 2 course, and Joy has been nothing but exceptional, as she always is, and has followed me up ever since I did my Reiki 2 course, and I've never got to the stage of getting my certificate. And while we've been on this holiday, I've sort of got the courage to chat to Joy about it and say, is it just me? Is it just me that's sort of got to here? And so, is it just me, Joy?
No. I have students which, whenever anyone trains with me, I give them a certain amount of time to come back having done their homework. And occasionally I will get people who don't want to do the homework, or they have personal issues that stop them getting to the stage of completing their homework. I normally follow this by keeping in contact with the students to see whether they need any extra help or support. But occasionally, sometimes people decide that they don't actually need to get a certificate because all they've done is the learning just for themselves, and they don't feel they need a piece of paper at the end of it to prove that they've done the course.
Yeah, see, that doesn't work for me really, because I'm a bit of an achiever and I do like to have pieces of paper to prove that I've done something. However, I don't want to have to do Reiki for other people. And actually, you can see my little hands are all white knuckled here because I don't want to do Reiki for other people. I only want to do it for me and possibly my very close friends and dog and myself, and possibly my car and my washing machine, and as we know, my front door.
Yes.
Because who knew that Reiki could work on jammed front door locks? Because it does. And yes, I don't want to get to the point where I have to do Reiki on other people, because I think that's my fear, that if I get my certificate, people will expect me to do Reiki for them, and I don't want to do that.
Nobody needs to know that you get a certificate. I know from speaking to you over the last couple of days that you have a distaste about treating other people.
Definitely.
And that's the problem that we have found out that has stopped you getting your certificate. Because I know you use Reiki in so many different circumstances, as you've mentioned, for inanimate things,
Yes.
but you've also used it for getting a job, finding a home, especially a home by the sea with your animal.
Yes.
So I know that you're using Reiki all the time, but every time I spoke to you, you never once said to me you didn't want to lay your hands on other people.
No.
Now, you have just answered with what you said a few minutes ago, and that is you want to use it for your friends, your family. So all you need to do is use it on your friends and family, and you will get your certificate. Easy.
Okay.
Once you have done that, nobody needs to know about it. So you won't be under any pressure to give Reiki to other people, especially strangers.
That's the problem. It's the putting my hands on other people that I don't know.
So we can bypass that.
Okay. Well, that's good then, isn't it?
Yes.
And maybe we could just now have a little chat about how you can use Reiki on things like your washing machine. Because who knew you could do that, Joy?
I think you can use Reiki for so much. I had a level 2 student recently who I know she had a long time between her training for level 1 and receiving her certificate from another teacher. So I made sure I kept in contact with her, and I actually had her visit me at my home, and we found out what her stumbling block was, and I was able to tell her how to use the distance Reiki symbols to get past that stumbling block. So I think sometimes it just needs people to open up to their teacher as to what the actual problem is, and they will usually find that the teacher has a resolution for them. That person, I'm pleased to say, within 1 month of coming to see me, received her certificate, because we found the stumbling block and we helped her to overcome it. The same as this week, we have found your stumbling block and we will find the way for you to overcome it also.
You do know, though, that you're going to have to be one of my friends who gets the Reiki, don't you?
I am happy for that to happen, Lorraine.
Because you're one of my only friends, Joy.
I always think, people learn Reiki for many, many different reasons. The main reason they learn it is to help themselves.
Yeah.
And then, especially if they go on to level 2, this is to help them with friends and family who may not live close to them. And definitely. I know that you, Lorraine, have family members scattered over the earth.
Yeah.
And I also know that you do send distance Reiki when required. So you're using a lot of the level 2 training that you had. And if anybody's read my podcast this week, or listened to my podcast, I should say, they will realise that Lorraine also has an extra infinity that we've been discussing this week also. Lorraine can look at me and she can tell me whether I've grounded and protected myself or not. Now, you can have friends that you have known for years, but until you actually have time to sit down, that you have nothing else planned, you don't actually sit down and have conversations like we have been having this week. So personally, I think, one, I am helping Lorraine to actually relax, or should I say, I am insisting that Lorraine relaxes. We have done a couple of meditations this week, which I am sure Lorraine will say have helped her.
Amazing. Let me tell you, Joy did a meditation for me that I was able to use within a bad dream. I was able to hear her voice while I was having a bad dream telling me this was only a bad dream, so it stopped it. That's for me, that was a bit of a miracle, to be honest, because I have them all the time.
So as Lorraine said to me yesterday, I'm her Reiki app.
Yes, she is my Reiki app. I don't need anything on my phone. I can just say, oh Joy, please will you do this for me? But that's the fantastic advantage of having a Reiki master as your best friend.
So what I would say is, if there's anybody out there, irrespective of what level of training that they've done, if they're struggling to complete, speak to your Reiki teacher. And I do have to say, that is also one of the reasons I don't give the certificate on the same day as the training, because I actually think that you've got an awful lot of learning to do and a lot of emotional information to work through to feel comfortable and get your Reiki certificates at the end of that. So if anybody wishes to do any training with me, I have a Reiki 1 and a Reiki 2 course taking place in January. And again, I will never do the courses back to back. If you did a level 1 course with me, you've got to wait a minimum of 3 months. And as we've spoken about today, although you get a time scale for coming back and chatting with me and getting your certificate, if you need longer than that, I'm there for you, irrespective of the time that you actually need to get your certificate.
About 20 years in her case.
So, do you have anything else you would like to say, Lorraine?
I would like to say that if you feel like a bit of a numpty about Reiki at times, like I have done and still do, really if you've got a good Reiki teacher, there really isn't anything that you should be frightened of asking them about, because they will have either encountered it, or if they haven't encountered it, their Reiki teacher or their Reiki master or their circle of peers will have encountered it, and they will be able to find the answers for you, because I know that Joy has done that herself with other students. So there isn't anything that they can't help you with.
And that is an interesting point, because if you do your training with someone that has been trained in person, you will have a Reiki lineage attached to that teacher. So again, if the teacher doesn't know the answer, they go up 1 level. If that teacher doesn't have the answer, they go up another level. I strongly believe that learning Reiki in person is the way forward, not
definitely.
learning it online, especially if the Reiki teachers online can't give you the lineage. But as you may or may not know from conversations I've had before, I'm a teacher of the the UK Reiki Federation, and they will not cover people that have been trained online because they believe the only way forward is training in person.
Because I've had, Joy quite often gets questions from me like, okay, but what about if I was to give Reiki to somebody who had broken their leg? Or, okay, but what about if I was to give, somebody asked me to give them Reiki who had just had an operation? Or what about it, and endlessly, poor Joy. Poor Joy.
But I always get you the answers.
Yes, she absolutely does always get me the answers, because I am a bit of a worrywart. What you'd never guess. I know you'd never guess. Yeah, so Joy can always get me the answers, and that is the thing. If you'd learnt it online, you haven't got anybody to go to that would be able to get you those answers. So in person is, I can't imagine how you would do it otherwise. But anyway, yeah. So
Well,
I've got you.
Thank you very much for your time today, Lorraine, and your idea of doing the interview this way.
Isn't it a fantastic idea?
Yes. So we will be back home, and oh my gosh, we've still got at least the same again time.
And who knows, we might have had another idea by next week.
Yeah, and who knows, I might be able to get my GoPro to connect to the internet to do a live stream. So
It's possible.
me and technology, you all know what happens when I try technology. So thank you once again for listening, everybody. Sorry that we couldn't have done this as a live stream, but at least this way you do get to hear our conversation. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.